Hey everyone. It is Thanksgiving weekend here in Canada. Hoping that you've had, if you're in Canada, a good long weekend. If not, you had a good weekend and your week's off to a good start. Um, Trying to think what's kind of new here. We have the holiday, we have a lot of family around. So it's been busy, but it's been really good. Saw a lot of people I haven't seen in a little while. Um, and yeah, that's kind of it. The weather's still beautiful. It's like honestly here in Canada, one of the most beautiful falls I think like we've had in like decades. So that's wonderful. Today's deck that we're going to take a look at, this one I haven't looked at in a very long time. I've had it for a long time. It's called TLC for the Soul. That's the deck there by Shanna Lee Gibson. There we go. And it's a beautiful deck. There's like 33 cards, and if I remember correctly, um, it's more of an inspiring messages kind of theme with this deck. So I figured with Thanksgiving weekend, that might be a nice fit for that kind of mindset. So let's give them a shuffle and see. So here we are. Here's our lovely deck, and I'm just gonna shuffle away until I get that inspiration to stop. I'm really curious. I haven't really had, it's been a busy week for sure. I'm getting ready for the long weekend with family, and I haven't really had a chance to play with my cards as much as I'd like. So I'm really curious. It's been a while. I've been itching to itching to do this with you guys. Curious what's going to come through. All right, here we go. Okay, there we go. Let's see what we got. Okay, so this card here, so the way this deck works is they have like a short message on one side and then there's longer message on the back. So it says here, a purpose for all things. So taking a look, beautiful card. I'm loving that rainbow in the sky, and just a beautiful scene out in nature. Reminds me, I grew up, in a rural setting. Reminds me of like that rural kind of road. So for me, there's memories of my childhood there for sure. Okay, that's interesting. So a purpose for all things. So I'm going to give this a read here. It says life is a mysterious progression of individual evolution. Just reading that part right there, I had a discussion with my sisters in town. We were chatting about that, how everyone has their own path, and that's okay, right? Like it may not be a path you choose for yourself, but you have to respect that it's a valid path for someone else, right? Like, and that's okay. So I love that life is a mysterious progression of individual evolution. Even if you don't understand, we can't really fully understand it, right? All of it, it's too much. Uh, First line after that, I was just saying this. It can be hard to understand. Just saying that, and even more so to accept why events manifest the way they do, right? And you can speak. I'm thinking about things in my life where I'm like, okay, in this, it could be very stressful or crisis kind of situation. You're like, I know there's got to be a bigger perspective here, but it's really hard in those moments to get to that, right? You're like, why would this terrible thing happen? You may be wondering, sometimes desperately, exactly what purpose each experience serves. Yet the answers still elude you. And then those crisis moments, I know myself, having done lots of work in this area, and then okay, bigger picture, and I'm just like, I don't even care about that right now. Right now, this crisis is all there is, right? It's kind of all consuming, and it's really hard to take that step back. So I get that. Um, take time in, or sorry, take comfort in the assurance of knowing that everything you've lived through carries a personal promise of resolution. What's that phrase? This too shall pass, right? Like that's the one constant is change. All these like little sayings we have, right? We know that on this deep level, but it's just hard to remember in those moments. But it's very, very true. I mean, everything has an end, right? Everything. You will, in accordance with divine timing, reunite with your loved ones and find the healing and happiness that you seek. Okay. The divine ways are exacting and beautifully just. And it's really hard to remember that in those moments where you're like, what good could possibly come out of this crisis or this situation, right? okay, there's there is just trusting. There is a bigger picture. It will all work out as it should, right? Whatever that is. Today, do your part by replacing cynicism and bitterness with optimism and trust. For you are indeed deeply loved, and your life is carefully thought out to suit your soul alone. So just trusting that deeper wisdom of life. I think that's just the best way I can put it. And like our brains, they're engineered to try and keep us safe. And they're going to try and figure out, and just kind of realizing there's a limitation there, right? I try to remind myself of that because I am an analyzer, analytical person, left brain, chemistry background, right? So this is how I'm wired. And I have, I get to a place sometimes now where I realize, maybe like I can't figure this out, and that's okay. I'm not meant to, right? I do believe there's a bigger, definitely a bigger picture to all of this, and trusting in that flow of life, whatever that is, right? That, it's easy to fall into that cynicism and bitterness. And we definitely see a lot of that. I feel a lot of that in the world today. And it's an easy place to go to, but like knowing there's no good that really comes from that, right? We know that. We know that. It's an easy place to fall into, but it's not really super helpful. So I really appreciate that card today. That's the interesting thing with family holidays and all of people's stuff coming together. And you're like, oh, I don't know if I personally would choose, you know what I mean? This situation, whatever. And like, it's okay. You don't have to. You're not going to, but you have to understand that everyone has their own path, their own journey, right? We're trying to remember that in those moments of like, but I don't want to see this person go through this hard thing. But like, you probably have to, right? And accepting that. So I appreciate this. A purpose for all things. Life is a mysterious progression of individual evolution, and just trusting that mysterious progression. All right. I'm going to try and remember that today and in my upcoming week. All right. Well, hopefully that spoke to you on some level, thinking about your mysterious progression in this life. And, if something's happening right now, that's, it happens to all of us that you get caught in, um, using our tools, this deep breath, whatever, to kind of to be able to take that, step back and see if you can just trust that overall perspective that, you know what, it's not here forever. It's things are going to change, right? It's going to move through, it's going to resolve in one way or another, right? And trusting that. So trusting the wisdom of life. I love that. Okay. Well, hopefully you found that helpful. I hope you guys have a really great rest of your week. Until next time, take care.